You pick it up without thinking. You just put it down 30 seconds ago. You know nothing changed. You know there is no notification waiting. And yet, your hand is already moving toward it, fingers curling around the edges, before your brain even registers what you are doing. This is not a technology problem. This is not a willpower problem. And it is definitely not your fault. The reason you cannot stop checking your phone is 8,000 years old. And to understand it, you need to go somewhere very different. You need to go to a river. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a slow-moving river in what is now the Jordan Valley. The year is roughly 6000 BCE. You have no phone, you have no house. You have a rough clay pot, a few handfuls of dried grain, and a group of people you trust with your life. Every morning, you wake up and you scan your environment. You look for threats, you look for food, you look for signs of other humans nearby, because other humans could be allies, or they could be the most dangerous thing in your world. Your brain is doing something very specific in those morning scans. It is checking for updates. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz at the University of Cambridge spent years studying what happens in the brain at the moment of anticipation, the split second before a reward appears. What he found changed how scientists understand human motivation. When you expect something good might happen, your brain releases dopamine. Not when the reward arrives, before it arrives. The expectation itself is the trigger. Your ancient ancestors had brains designed to scan, anticipate, and respond. Every morning glance at the horizon was a dopamine event. Every sound in the bushes was a dopamine event. Every stranger walking toward camp was a dopamine event. The brain learned to pay attention by rewarding the act of paying attention. You are still running that same brain. Now fast forward to right now. You are sitting, wherever you are sitting. Your phone is nearby. It might have a notification. It might not. You do not know. And that uncertainty, that exact gap between might and might not, is the most neurologically potent space the human brain can occupy. Psychologist B.F. Skinner figured out in the 1950s that the most powerful way to keep any creature performing a behavior is not to reward it every time. It is to reward it unpredictably. He called this a variable ratio reinforcement schedule. A rat that gets a food pellet every single time it presses a lever will press the lever until it is full and then stop. A rat that gets a pellet sometimes, randomly, unpredictably, will press the lever until it collapses. Your phone is a lever. Sometimes you check and there is nothing. Sometimes you check and there is a message from someone you care about. Sometimes you check and a stranger validated something you said. Sometimes you check and the world shifted while you were not watching. You never know which it will be. And your ancient brain, the same brain that scanned the horizon every morning for 200,000 years, cannot stop pulling that lever. This is not weakness. This is what kept your ancestors alive. Think about what information meant for most of human history. A change in the wind meant a storm was coming. An unfamiliar track in the mud meant a predator was nearby. A column of smoke on the horizon meant another group of humans was moving through the valley. Staying updated on your environment was not a hobby. It was survival. The humans who compulsively checked their surroundings, who could not sit comfortably with not knowing, were the humans who lived long enough to have children. You are descended from the anxious ones, the vigilant ones, the ones who could not stop looking. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar at the University of Oxford has spent decades studying the social lives of early humans. His research suggests that the human brain evolved specifically to track social information. Who is allied with whom? Who is angry at whom? Who has resources and who needs them? Early human survival was not primarily about fighting predators. It was about navigating a dense web of relationships. Social information was the most critical information there was. Your phone is a social information machine. Every notification is a potential piece of social data. Someone responded to you. Someone ignored you. Someone is somewhere you were not invited. Someone is struggling. Someone succeeded. Your brain treats every one of these signals the way your ancestors' brain treated a change in the camp's mood. It matters. It could matter. You should check. And here is where it gets stranger still. Research from the University of Chicago by Sian Beilock found that the mere presence of your phone, even face down, even switched off, even in another room, reduces your available cognitive capacity. Your brain knows the device is there. It knows information might be accumulating, and it is spending processing power managing the urge to check, even when you are succeeding at not checking. The phone does not have to be in your hand to occupy your mind. Your brain is already at the river, scanning the horizon, waiting to see what moves. So, what do you do with this? The first thing you do is stop calling it an addiction. The word addiction implies something foreign, hijacking your brain. What is actually happening is your brain working exactly as designed, in an environment it was never designed for. You are not broken, you are ancient. The second thing you understand is that you cannot outthink this with willpower alone. Willpower is a conscious process. The checking impulse lives in a much older, much faster part of the brain. The dopamine system does not respond to rational arguments about productivity or presence. It responds to environment. This is why every researcher who studies phone behavior says the same thing. Distance is more effective than discipline. Put the phone in another room. The urge does not disappear, but the friction of retrieving it gives your slower conscious brain enough time to make a different choice. You are not fighting your ancient brain. You are giving it a chance to catch up. The third thing, and this is the one that most people miss, you need to give your brain real things to scan. The checking impulse is a search for signal. It is your ancient brain asking, is anything happening that I need to know about? If you fill your environment with other sources of real signal, your brain has somewhere else to look. A walk outside where your eyes actually move across a real horizon. A conversation where the micro expressions on another person's face are the data your brain is processing. A book where the next sentence is genuinely unknown. These are not cures, they are redirections. You are taking a 200,000-year-old scanning system and giving it something worth scanning. Wolfram Schultz's research showed something else, something easy to miss in the conversation about dopamine and reward. The brain does not just respond to variable rewards. It calms in the presence of predictability. When you know what is coming and when, the anticipatory system quiets. The compulsive checking is partly a response to genuine uncertainty. Knowing that you will check your messages at a specific time and not before gives your brain the one thing it craves as much as novelty, a pattern it can trust. Your ancestors had that. The sun rose and set in the same arc every day. The river ran in the same direction. The seasons came in the same order. Within that predictable frame, new information arrived and was processed and meant something. Your phone broke the frame. Every moment is equally possible for something to arrive. There is no arc. There is no predictable pattern. There is only the permanent possibility of the next thing. And so your ancient brain stays permanently alert, permanently at the river's edge, permanently scanning. Right now, in this moment, whatever device you are using to hear or read these words, you probably felt the pull at least once. Some part of you wondered if something arrived while you were paying attention here. That flicker, that brief wondering, that is the same impulse that kept your great great grandmother alive on a plain in East Africa when she was 8 years old and something moved in the tall grass. She checked. She survived. So did you. The only difference is she knew what she was looking for.